Hello everyone, this is Kelly with The Well Life. In today's video, I want to talk about well-being, but moreover, self-examining and asking ourselves important questions. And the two most important questions that are coming to my mind at this time, because I've been just reflecting on a lot of things. But I think right now, with everything the way that it is, we're all wondering and questioning a lot of things. But what we're doing is we're kind of just looking at everything going on outside, right, in the world outside. And, oh, what is this? Why is that? Why is it that way? I wonder why. We're questioning. But I feel like what we need to do, what would be more beneficial, is asking ourselves questions about ourselves and about our actions. So, the first question that I ask myself and began to ask myself years ago, which has now led me in a different direction, and the question was, why am I doing this? So, anything and everything in my life, I began to say, why am I doing this? Whatever it was. Watching a TV program, looking at something on my phone, going to the job I had, or going out with a friend, or going to a place, anything. Every single thing, I would say to myself, why am I doing this? And if the answer I received was favorable, right? I liked the answer, then I would continue to do it. But because I have to be honest, you have to be honest with yourself. So I would ask myself that question a few times to be sure, like, am I being honest with myself? Or did I just sort of answer like very superficially? So why am I doing this? In every instance, why am I doing this? Whatever it is that you're doing, why am I doing this? So, and then the next question is this really true? Is this really true? Now, that may not necessarily be about what you're doing. It could be the answer that you gave yourself. So why am I doing this? Let's just say if you're exercising every day and you ask yourself, why am I doing this? And you told yourself, well, to better my health. Then you might could say, is this really true? Yes, it is. Okay, that's a good one. But if you said, um, I'm watching, videos every day on my phone after work or whatever. Why am I doing this? I don't know. Maybe they were educational videos. I don't know. But that's what I'm talking about. So you ask yourself the question, why am I doing this? And if you said, because it's entertaining, okay, then you might say, is this really true? Is this really true? Is this really true? I just told myself I'm watching these videos because it's entertaining. Is this really true? Is that true? Because most often, a lot of the things that we're doing are just because we're influenced by something outside of ourselves. So it's not our true identity. It's not our true self. It's not at the core that we pursue something. It hasn't come from our core self. It hasn't come from our true self desire. It's come from something outside of us that's influencing us. So why am I doing this? Is this really true? The second question you can ask, though, to a lot of things, if a thought comes up in your mind, ask yourself, is this really true? Um, you know, I'm afraid, I don't feel good, what a miserable day, anything like that. Ask yourself, now, I just had that thought, is this really true? Is this really true? Something is only really true as much as you allow yourself to believe that it is true and then rest there on that. In other words, keep it in your mind as that thought and believe it as it is. So if I said this is a horrible day, but then I said, is this really true? And then I chose to say, no, it is not really true. This is actually a really good day. I can absolutely change my perspective and I can absolutely make it a good day if I so chose and if I so allowed that thought to rest in my mind over the thought, this is such a horrible day, this is such a bad day. I pushed that thought completely out. I replaced it with this new thought. But my point and my purpose and my message here is that this is an act of well being. This is an act of you checking in with yourself to see how am I proceeding through life and am I looking at all of the outside circumstances, um, actions, and goings on, right? What is going on out there? Is that how I am choosing to perceive my life? The answer will be yes, because what's going on out here is a reflection of your inner self. But it's moreover what you're believing and what you're choosing to see. So you then turn, if you're like, my goodness, all of this out there is not truly what I want or isn't quite the hopes, right, and dreams that I had wanted. You go inward, you stop, and you make yourself ask the questions, right? So, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Wait for the answer and be sure that you are allowing yourself to dig deep for that answer, not just a quick superficial answer. Why am I doing this? Well, because I've got no choice, kind of an answer, right? Like, okay, let's wait a minute. Let's see. Why am I doing this? Get an answer. And then, is this really true? So, the answer to the first question, you can then say, is this really true? Okay, and go even deeper. But you can also ask the question, is this really true, to all of your thoughts that you have throughout the day? Okay, all of the thoughts that you have throughout the day, you can ask yourself, is this really true? And then also the information and the things that you're seeing, when you see it, you can say, is this really true? Because if it's something that you do not want to be true, you do not wish for that to be true, you then have to go inside and change your perspective, change your outlook. So you need to switch up something in your mind first in order for it to change in the outside world, in the materialistic world. And I hope that does not sound, I know it shouldn't because it's said a lot now. It's out here very, very, very much using the word manifestation and all of those things, in that they're talking about how you are perceiving and what you are desiring from the inside, from your thoughts, from your mind, what you are creating in your mind, what you are creating and repeating and saying and seeing and allowing into your mind, conscious and subconscious, is coming out into the materialistic world. So, for the sake of this world and the way things are, and what seems to be uh, a mass movement and a mass awareness of, wow, things don't seem quite as good or as well as we had wished for or as anyone would want. What can we do to change? And that is us going into our own minds, into our own consciousness, and changing that. And then that reflects to the outer world. One conscious at a time changing would then make a mass conscious change, right? So there's the collective consciousness, there's this mass consciousness. And basically, what it is this: if we're all thinking alike, then we're all seeing alike, right? If we're all thinking the same things pretty much every day, we're all seeing the same thing, we're all producing the same thing. Change your thoughts, reflect on your thoughts, question your thoughts. This is a form of well being, right? You need to check in with yourself first and foremost. If you get right, if you become the way you want to be, then you reflect out into the world something better, right? Something more agreeable with yourself. And then it actually catches on. That is just how it works, right? I mean, that's with everything, right? Why do you do, like we said, why do you do some of the things you do? Because somebody else was doing it and so you did it. It's the same scenario. Check in with yourself. Check in with yourself. Ask yourself the questions, why am I doing this? Is this really true? See if that does not help you change in some of the ways that you may be just feeling so desperately like you want to change. Okay, I hope this message helped you. This is Kelly with The Well Life. Remember, your lifestyle is a choice. Choose well.